stories will you be talking about tomorrow? Clinton's climb down. She cannot and will not quit before West Virginia next Tuesday. But for all practical purposes, if it was not over early, the race for the Democratic nomination is now over. Did it just end tonight?
We now know who the Democratic nominee is going to be, and no one's going to dispute it, Keith.
Clinton supporter George McGovern. She should drop out now. Clinton supporter Senator Dianne Feinstein. I'm very loyal to her. But having said that, I'd like to talk with her and get her view on the rest of the race and what the strategy is. Clinton supporter Senator Chuck Schumer. Should she stay in? Quote, I'm not going to get into it. Is the only remaining metric worth watching whether she eliminates the heavily weighted anti-Obama rhetoric.
I believe that I'm the stronger candidate against Senator McCain, and I believe I would be the best president among the three of us running. So we will continue to contest these elections and move forward.
On the Playing Out the String campaign trail with Richard Wolff. The already impossible math getting more impossible still with Chuck Todd. And CSI the Clinton campaign with Howard Feynman. Thus, this is the first day of the rest of your electoral life.
We can't afford to give John McCain the chance to serve out George Bush's third term.
McCain in Michigan, we think. Yesterday, he said he was in West Virginia. Actually, he was at Wake Forest University in North Carolina. Worst persons, Fox Noise, busting news, the big stories that really matter.
There is a woman who's got that amount of silicone in each breast, and she put it there on purpose.
And ever been inside an epic baseball stadium under construction? Your sneak tour of the new Yankee Stadium in New York. It already makes every other ballpark look like a tree hut, and it won't even be finished till next February.
And then the big mission accomplished sign goes up.
All that and more now on Countdown. Good evening. This is Wednesday, May 7th, 181 days until the 2008 presidential election, the 4th of November. The exact quote is from the 10th of November in 1942, after the first major victory by the British in the Second World War at El Alamein in Egypt. Prime Minister Winston Churchill told the Lord Mayor's luncheon at London's Mansion House, "This is not the end, it is not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning." Our fifth story in the countdown, neither side will admit it. The race will go on with a surprisingly gentle and even boring quality to it for another week or another month. But make no mistake, the Democratic presidential contest is, at minimum, at the end of its Churchillian beginning. Despite the shrinking of even the theoretical path about how she could possibly reach the nomination, despite the perception that prolonging the fight could hurt the Democratic Party's chances in November. Senator Clinton in West Virginia this morning, site of next week's Democratic primary, wasting little time in reaffirming her intention to stay in the race for the White House until there is a Democratic nominee, preferably her.
I'm staying in this race until there's a nominee, and I obviously am going to work as hard as I can to become that nominee. That is what I have done. That's what I'm continuing to do. I believe that I'm the stronger candidate against Senator McCain, and I believe I would be the best president among the three of us running. So we will continue to contest these elections and move forward.
Note, however, there was nothing in there about necessarily waiting until the convention and nothing incendiary about Barack Obama. One of her own supporters looking for a business plan of how exactly she intends to stay in. Senator Dianne Feinstein telling the Hill newspaper, quote, I'm very loyal to her, but having said that, I'd like to talk with her and get her view on the rest of the race and what the strategy is. And the California Democrat adding, I think the race is reaching the point now where there are negative dividends from it in terms of strife within the party. I think we need to prevent that as much as we can. Senator Clinton meeting with superdelegates at DNC headquarters in Washington this afternoon. More possible meetings in the works still this evening. She departed this afternoon and declined to answer questions. In a conference call with reporters, though, some of Senator Obama's supporters in the Senate, including the last Democratic nominee, John Kerry, arguing that the results of last night's contests marked the beginning of the end of the Democratic race.
The very tight finish in Indiana and his huge win in North Carolina have fundamentally changed this race. Barack was expected, by all accounts, to lose Indiana by a sizable margin, and she had the support of the biggest political name and family in the state who put everything